Hello, Figgy.
Hi, Bernie. How are you?
Good.
Yeah. What do you hear from Tammy?
She's tired. She went to Vegas.
It's very tiring, those shows.
She's walking up and down and looking at all day. Your wipes you out.
Yeah. But Esty and Walter are there too, right?
Yeah. I think it ends either tomorrow or on Tuesday. I'm not sure what day. But Tammy's coming home tomorrow night.
Oh, good. Okay. Hey, you owe me Mazel Tov.
Oh, what's it?
Carolyn had a little girl this morning.
Oh, yeah, you're telling me it was okay. So when are you flying?
Yeah, day after tomorrow. Yeah. Looking forward.
That's great. So where do you fly into? You fly into JFK?
We fly into JFK because the Hartford, Connecticut, the airport is an hour away from her anyway. And there are very few flights. And so Kennedy's also an hour away. So we fly into Kennedy.
Sure.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with Ellie when you went inside with Tammy into her room.
Right.
It was, everything was normal conversation.
Right.
It's pretty good.
Right. Pretty good. Yeah.
Baruch Hashem.
And now they're Medicare is supposed to approve this summer a lot of these.
I saw that.
Leqembi,
Multiple drugs. Yeah.
Donanemab, and all these drugs. So
Okay.
hopefully a light at the end of the tunnel.
Good.
A little light.
All right.
It can just slow it down. It can't retrieve what's lost. But
You'll take it.
I'll take it, right.
Yes.
Hello. Hello.
How are you, Magda?
Salam alaikum, Bernie. Salam alaikum.
Salam alaikum. You're supposed to say that to Faggy. Faggy's, you relate more than I would.
How was Pico?
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah, you got
Nice.
Shabbat Shalom or good Shabbos?
Shabbat Shalom.
That's Cienega. It's only Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, okay. Oh, you owe me Mazel Tov. Carolyn had a little girl this morning
Okay.
A girl after two boys.
after two boys.
Fabulous. Mazel tov. Hi,
Right.
Barbara.
Oh, hi, how are
Barbara.
you? Someone gets a mazel tov?
I get a Mazel Tov. My daughter had a little girl this morning.
Ellie has your type for his mother this week, doesn't he?
Yeah, I want to tell Ernie. Ellie has your site Thursday night and Friday. Yeah.
Where's Ernie?
Ernie is
Did our class dwindle? I don't know.
no, he should be here. Maybe he's doing a procedure. Off camera.
Does anyone have plans to travel this summer?
We're going to New Jersey tomorrow.
Sounds good, sounds good.
Rivka, I mean,
I'm heading to
Michael, what time's your flight?
Baltimore. Nothing like the US of A.
I'm also going tomorrow. No, Tuesday. I forgot.
Are you going to New Jersey?
Tuesday.
To New
What
Jersey?
what part of Jersey? What part?
We go to Clifton, Passaic.
The
Oh,
exotic.
Passaic, your girls are there, right?
Right.
So nice.
Yeah,
Where
we're
are you
to the
going,
five towns.
Bernie?
To the five towns, a graduation granddaughter
Oh, from where?
from half to high school.
From how?
Oh, nice.
You all 5 towns?
The whole 5 towns will be there. I don't know. Just the
The one day, you do all 5 towns. Amazing.
gotta
You have
split
a
it
tour
in half.
guide?
What?
You have a tour guide? You're gonna see all 5 towns?
Sense
I didn't see you with.
of humor.
As long as he's not wearing a keffiyeh.
Okay. Yeah,
Which town? Maybe you should be specific.
Right. I'm going to Stanford.
Shlomo's daughter, Lauren.
Oh,
very
nice.
nice.
Yeah.
Did Ernie forget the class?
Ernie
Well, maybe
was,
davening was longer.
that could be.
I would imagine it's later because it only gets dark. Yesterday we davened Marv at 8:40.
Ah,
So, but it's dark out there now.
it is dark.
Seems to be.
Magda, I thought I texted you this morning.
You did?
I thought so.
What did you say? About Carolyn?
About Carolyn, yeah.
I'm sorry, I did not see
I
it.
thought I sent it to you. I thought I'd send it to you this morning.
Where, in WhatsApp?
No, just a regular text.
Nope, I got nothing, but anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't get anything.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I just got a text from one of my tenants, so when I get a text from one of my tenants, I get, I only have two, but I get.
It's only problems.
Yeah, like, yeah.
Did you hear that they said that if you raise the tenant's rent more than 10%, then you have to pay them like $6,600 to move?
No, you can't. You have to do it only like in December, I think it's happening, that you can only raise 3%. Not 10%, 3%.
What do you do if you have a tenant who hasn't paid their rent in a couple of years?
You
Bernie,
scream.
Bernie.
You jump up and down and scream at the mirror.
Yeah.
I can relate. Yeah.
Nothing, right?
You're penalized if you're a land.
Harass them, yeah.
Yeah, you're penalized. Yeah.
Harold, did you ever receive a book from Bobby by Yehuda Borer, an archaeologist rabbi in Israel, that Bobby funded a book? I happen to have it on my shelf. I was looking at it. It's called Biblical Codes in Tanakh. It's a pictorial.
What do you mean? You never bought it? It was just there on your shelf?
No, he gave it to us as a gift. Bobby gave it to us as a gift.
Oh,
But if you
wow.
put it up on the shelf with all the other stuff.
I used to tour with him. He used to be a tour guide.
So it's archaeological sites that he takes you on a site, but it's all of what we're doing in Yoshua, Shoftim,
Oh,
Shmuel. It's because when you look at it pictorially, like, anytime you put up audio visual, it has much greater impact than when you're just reading it in Tanakh.
Anything you care to share with us?
Huh?
Anything you care to share with us?
No, it's very nice. I sent it to Ernie. Ernie said, "Oh, very nice," but he didn't share. I think it was on last week. I sent it to. If you look at the the WhatsApp, I think it's on there.
Oh, so you order it?
I'm finding it very stimulating because I'm going back and what I forgot in Yoshua and Shoftim. Oh yeah, I remember that word, but I don't remember the story. So
can you get it from Amazon?
I don't know where he got it. He paid for the publishing, so I don't know if he just published a limited number. I'm going to see here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just telling you, if you do have it, it's worthwhile looking at.
Okay.
When I finish reading it, Barbara, if you want to borrow it again,
Okay.
I'm happy to share it.
Thank you. I do return, so I'm,
Yeah, I know that.
If I look at it and I like it, then I buy it. So a lot of times I buy books. I said, what do I need this for? Another one? I'm a proponent of the library.
Actually, I can send it. I see I've copied. I send it just to Ernie, so I'm going to send it to the group.
Oh, great. Very
What
good.
is it called? The Navi?
Navi
Shir, right?
The Navi Shir, but it's 8:23. I hope everything is okay.
Yeah, I don't see any notes.
He has your side, so he might be late from. No,
Oh, wait,
I mean,
now
your
he
side.
has
He
another-
has to say Kaddish. I'm sorry. He has to
And
say
he has a second granddaughter named after his mother.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And
His
And
mother-
and also Susie's mother.
the
Oh,
Rachel-
and Susie also lost. Oh, Susie also lost her mother. Mhm. Wow. That could be. Do you find that this Sunday evening is a good time?
We're not so busy.
Yeah.
We're not that busy unless we're going to travel, but we're not traveling right now.
Mm-hmm. Right. Now I'm traveling. You live in California, you have to travel. It's like a given, simchas,
Yeah,
etc.
we always go back east, but we were in January and February, we went to New Zealand and Australia. So that was a long vacation. So I am okay to
How
not.
many weeks was it? 3 weeks? 3 weeks?
Yeah,
went 3 weeks?
So,
Go on,
so
Brian.
for now, I'm okay if I stay home for a little bit, not a problem.
No, traveling is wonderful, but it's also tiring. You
Very
know,
much so, very much, very
Need
much.
to recuperate.
So I send it to you if you'd like to look.
Yeah,
Thank
that's very interesting. The great pool at Givon is amazing. Wow.
Oh, I didn't look at it.
What is that? Where is that?
That's in Givon. That's where,
This is what we were doing 2 weeks ago. So that's I just said, hey, I'm looking at reading this, and that's exactly what we learned.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Wow.
mhm.
I mean, did you read the chutzpah that Blinken and Biden's wife, they went to the Jordan, the wedding in Jordan, but they weren't
Yeah.
stopped. They were making stops, but they were not stopping in Israel.
Yeah, on purpose, right?
Of course. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, Perry Dalit here is just a listing of all the different people who work for Shlomo, I think, right?
Who has? Sorry.
What are you saying? I'm sorry.
Perry Dalit is just a listing of all the people, the names of all the people who worked for Shlomo.
Oh, Shlomo HaMelech you're talking
Shlomo
about.
HaMelech,
Oh,
Shlomo
I
HaMelech.
didn't know what you were
I thought
talking
Yeah,
you
about.
this-
under.
I don't know.
But
who
we're
you're
still
talking
Sorry,
Perry Dalit.
I didn't make myself clear.
Yeah. Oh, that big part, the 10 psukim on the names. Yeah.
Yeah. He was really very lucky. I mean, David HaMelech really, there was such chaos, I mean, throughout his reign. And here, Shlomo, it's so easy for him. Everything's harmonious. He's lucky, really lucky.
He killed all the opposition and everything is okay now.
It's
That was
great
his
until
father
it's
taking
not
care
great
of the
anymore.
situation.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There he
Oh,
is.
he's-
Yeah.
Hi, good evening.
Good
Hello.
Ernie
evening.
just got home from shul. So
That's
that's,
what we thought.
It gets later every
So you have to
week.
tell
It
them.
gets later.
so you have to say,
So,
tell
um,
them.
Mazel tov on your
Mazel
granddaughter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. And you
Where
owe
did
me
where did they live?
Mazel tov too.
We live in the valley. Hmm?
Ah,
Who gets
You owe me
mazel tov?
Mazel tov too. Carolyn had a little girl.
Mazel
Oh,
tov.
mazel tov.
Fabulous, fabulous.
Mazel
Wonderful.
tov.
After 2 boys, she had a girl.
Fantastic. Girls
that's so
rock.
nice.
Fantastic. I'm so happy for Carolyn. Wow. And for all of you.
Yeah, thank you. And you too,
Thank you.
your family. So now you have two granddaughters named after your mothers.
Yes, Rachel, this week was Rachel Margalit, and Yaakov's is Rachel Leah.
Rachel, yeah, for both mothers.
After
Great grandmother.
Margalit was Susie's great aunt.
Because my mother, Aliza's mother-in-law has my mother's name, so
Oh,
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah.
guess not Sephardic.
No, it's right. Not
Right.
right.
but Ernie, can we dedicate the learning tonight also to Ellie's mother? He has Yurtzeit Thursday night.
Yes, please. What's his?
Simcha Bas Eliyahu.
Simcha Bas Eliyahu. Okay, the neshama should have an aliyah.
Name.
You know what? In today's Lynn's father's yahrzeit, which is Rav Shlomo Ben Rav Nosson,
Mean Rabbi.
today.
Mean
Rabbi Silverberg.
Silverberg.
Yes.
Well, we
It
knew
was
him
Shabbos.
very
I'm sorry, it
well.
was Shabbos. Okay, so
Wow. Yeah.
Okay, so
okay.
his neshama should have an aliyah as well.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Okay, Perek Melachim Aleph, Perek Dalet. Vayhi Melech Shlomo, Melech al Kol Yisrael. Very interesting. This pasuk really fits in with last week's Perek, where we had just, Shlomo Melech had adjudicated this very complicated case. And in fact, if you look in the Navi, when you write it in a klaf, this pasuk is really the completion of last week's perek. But the Christian printers created the chapters that we have is not a Jewish thing. In fact, we have Perek Aleph, Perek Beis, Perek Dalet. That was due to the Christians when they printed it. And this is one of the examples, because this pasuk really belongs in last week's perek. So, and it shows David HaMelech, when he first ruled, he did not rule over all Klal Yisrael. He ruled only over Yehuda for the first 7 years. And then the last 33 years of his reign, he ruled over all of Klal Yisrael. And the Malbim brings the Mahari that there were 3 reasons why Shlomo Melech was more successful than David, in the sense that he was king over all of Israel right away. Number 1, his father had something to do with it, where David anointed him king while David was still alive. Remember, we went through that whole thing with Adoniyahu. It said, Ushlomo Yoshav al Kisei David Aviv Vatikon Malchuto Ma'od. That was in the middle of Perek Beis. Number 2, he got rid of his enemies. Right? David HaMelech had advised him, get rid of this guy, get rid of that guy, Yoav and Doeg. So that gives you a stronger malchus if you've cleaned up your enemies. Number 3, obviously Hashem had given him a lot of chokhmah and bina, and he demonstrated it with his rulings, and therefore the people wanted him to rule. Now, because Shlomo HaMelech had a very robust palace, and he had a robust government because he was very successful, as we're going to see in today's perek, he ruled over large amounts of land. He had a lot of visitors coming from all over, wanting to gain access to him because he was so successful. So he had to conduct a lot of palace business, and therefore he needed a huge staff. And not only that, he organized his staff in a very smart way, as we're going to learn tonight. And that's another reason why the Meforshim say he had a successful reign. And the pasuk base, Eila Sarim Asher Lo. And the Abarbanel points out that to reduce the burden on his shoulders of leadership, he did a lot of delegation of powers. So the first one is Azaryahu ben Tzadok HaKohen. So some say remember, Tzadok was already the Kohen Gadol in the time of David, and this is his son. The Malbim says that this is Azaryahu ben Achimatz ben Tzadok. He's a grandson of Tzadok. And why is he called Ben? Because B'nai Bonim Harein Kovadim. We just had a number of grandchildren born, discussed on this Zoom tonight. The Meforshim say that grandchildren are considered like children. Now you notice the rest of the psukim are going to, when they give us a name of somebody, they're going to tell us what his task, what his job was. Here, it doesn't say what his task was. So some say he was head of all of them. We're about to quote some names of scribes. So some say he was head of the scribes, but others say he was head of all of the various officers of the king. The Radak says that he was the Kohen Meshuach Milchama. So the Torah tells us that the Beis HaMikdash or the Mishkan needed a Kohen Gadol. And the Kohen Gadol had certain duties in the base of Mikdash, most notably on Yom Kippur. There was another Kohen who also wore the 8 begodim. A normal Kohen only wore 4 begodim. Kohen Gadol would wear 8 begodim, but there was a Kohen called a Kohen Meshuach Milchama. He was anointed to go when the army gathered, and he would inspire them with words of Torah. So some say this Azariah was the Kohen Meshuach Milchama. The Abarbanel says he was a scribe, like Elichoref and Achia are going to be mentioned in the next pasuk. Pasuk Gimel, Elichoref ve'Achia, b'nei Shisha, they were the sons of Shisha, they were Sofrim. They were scribes. What are they writing? Rashi says, Divrei Hayomim. Chronology. They document the history of what's going on. The Abarbanel says that they dealt with the taxes and various laws that were passed that they have to keep track of. And then the pasuk says, Yoshafat ben Achilud HaMaskir. He's the secretary. And what did this secretary keep? Eze mishpat balafon of Rishon Shivsakena Rishon. He sort of created the trial calendar. Remember, Shlomo Melech served as a judge. So which cases would come before Melech Shlomo first, second? Some say that Yoshafat already was in this tafkid by David HaMelech. That's what the Radak says. Pasuk Daled Uvnayahu ben Yehuda ala tzava. This we already know. Shlomo HaMelech already appointed him in place of Yoav. Right? In Perek Bey's Pasuk Lamed Hey, it says, Vayiter HaMelech et B'nayahu ben Yehuda tachtav ala tzava. And the pasuk says, "V'tzadok ve'Evyatar Kohanim." They were the Kohen Gadol, right? Tzadok is the new Kohen Gadol after they removed Evyatar. If you remember, Evyatar was the last remnant of the house of Eli, but Shlomo Melech already chased him out of the Kohen Gedula. Why does it say Tzadok and Evyatar? Because those of us in the Daf Yomi remember, once you're Kohen Gadol, you're always a Kohen Gadol. It means you may not serve as the Kohen Gadol, but you always have that status. And let's say Tzadok, the active Kohen Gadol, became Tameh or was sick. So he might take the place. Some say that Tzadok was the Skan Kohen Gadol. And that even though Evyatar was removed from his position, he was appointed Skan, so that if there was a psul for the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur, he would step in. And you don't reduce the Kohen Gadol from the cover that he gets when he served as a Kohen Gadol, even when he retires. Pasuk Hey. Va'Azaryahu ben Natan al hanitzavim. So the Meforshim tell us that there were 12 nitzivim. The nitzivim are like regional governors. They're not, and they were designed for economy, that each one had to collect taxes per month and would send taxes in to support the palace of Shlomo Melech for that month. It wasn't divided up per shevet. It was per economic region. So Azaryahu, the son of Nasan, and Zavud ben Nasan, Zavud was a Kohen Re'ei HaMelech. He was one of the best friends of Shlomo. Some say Melech Shlomo gave him all of the gifts that you're supposed to give to a Kohen. He was his own personal Kohen that he gave Truma and all the various Matnos Kahuna to. Kohen doesn't always refer to someone who's from Zera Aaron. We had, David HaMelech had a friend, Ira Haya'iri, where it says Haya Kohen LeDavid. And there, Yonasan ben Uziel says he was like a Rav. He wasn't a Kohen, he was like the Rebbe of David. It says by Yisro, Ula Kohen Midyan Sheva Banos. So Yisro was not a Kohen, obviously. So there's many times where the word Kohen is used for a great person, even though he's not from Zera Aaron. Pasuk Vav. V'achishar ala bayit. So he was the major domo in the house. V'adoniram ben Avdal Mas. And he's on the taxes. Some say it wasn't just money taxes, but people. Rashi and Radak say Vahi Amas Shloishim Elef Ish, that they had to always have like a roster of people that could serve in the army. So there's machlokes before him whether this is a mas related to money or related to people.
So it said it was forced labor, so it wasn't, so people were forced, it wasn't, voluntary.
Well, no, some say it wasn't just people for the palace, but also people for the army.
So they must have had an age range. They probably must have had an age range.
And I'm sure they had an age range, like it says in the Torah, between 20 and 50 is usually the age given for the army. But this also may have been for royal service, generally royal service, for Shlomo HaMelech to have ambassadors, to have people working, not necessarily army work. Pasuk Zayin. V'li Shlomo shnei masar nitzavim al kol Yisrael. V'kilkelu et hamelech v'et beito. They provided income for the king in his house. Chodesh b'shana yiyeh ala echad lekalkel. Each one was responsible 1 month out of the year. The Abarbanel, which doesn't surprise me that the Abarbanel discusses this, because the Abarbanel lived in the time of Ferdinand and Isabella. Susie and I, we were in the room when where the Ferdinand and Isabella issued the decree expelling all the Jews. And Don Yitzchak Abarbanel was present. He was also exiled, but he was a very high officer among Spain. And he went to Venice, where a lot of the exiles went. He also was used there as well. And this was the time where you see the first inklings of political philosophy. The Prince by Machiavelli was written about that time. He was an advisor to one of the rulers in one of the Venetian city-states, all about this time, late 1400s, early 1500s, about Abarbanel. So listen to what Abarbanel says. We're talking about the food and things that had to be bought for the palace was bought by Shlomo Melech's own money. There was a big meals, as we're going to see. Now, if Shlomo HaMelech was getting all of his provisions from the region, let's say near Yerushalayim where he lived, there would be inflation. So this Abarbanel is describing economic engineering. He wanted to avoid lo yisakru amazonas b'shar. If he's buying all the goods and the goods are scarce, the price is going to go up. Yischakim Shlomo l'sader b'chol haaretz nitzivim sheyukonim mimamon hamelech hamazonos v'adverim hatzrichim v'kamas gadol maspik. he spread them out throughout all of Israel. So they were buying things in the north, in the east of Israel, to not overburden any one economic region, so prices would be affected in a bad way.
Ernie, it says, according to the Barbanel, there were 60,000 guests at the king's table daily. It sounds like an outrageous number.
It could be. I didn't see where it said 60,000.
I have it here in one of Barbanel's sources. I
Okay,
don't,
but we're going to see soon that there were major feasts. People came from all over the world to visit with Shlomo HaMelech. 60,000. I don't know whether that's a guzma or
that's
that.
a, sounds like a guzma. It does. I don't know. But even if it's a good, I mean, still, it's just such a huge expense. And
And,
sounds
and that's why also it wasn't divided by shevet. It was divided by economic zone. And there were certain areas that had very good crops, so that's where these nitzivim were sent, not necessarily shevet by shevet. And the Tanakh gives us their names: Elish Motam ben Chur, Bahar Ephraim. So this is in the region of Ephraim, which was a little bit north of Judea. Ben Deker b'Moketz, uVeshalavim uBeit Shemesh, ve'Elon Beit Hanan. Ben Deker is the name. Shalavim is in the area of Dan, Gush Dan, and Beit Shemesh as well, which is also in Gush Dan. Tel Aviv of today is what we call Gush Dan, and that Shevet Dan was in this middle area of Israel. Ben Chesed, Posuk Yud, Ben Chesed ba'Arubot. This was a city called Arubot. Socho v'chol eretz Chayfetz. V'chol eretz Chayfer. Now, Chayfer ben Menashe, remember, the Shevet Menashe, half of it stayed on the east side of the Jordan, half came over to the west side of the Jordan. And that was Chayfer ben Menashe. This was a little bit north to where Ephraim was. Yud Aleph, Ben Avinadav, called Nafat Do'or. Nafat Do'or is the area which was also in the area of Menashe. And Tafat bat Shlomai told Isha. This Nitziv married one of the daughters of Shlomo, Tafat. Now, some say this is that since it was the beginning of Shlomo's reign, he didn't have children old enough to get married. So he did not marry the daughter of Shlomo until much later on, maybe until after he was appointed. Some say that the appointment of his Nitzivim was not at the beginning of Shlomo's reign, but later on, after 11 years or so. That's what the Kli Yakar says. Pasuk Yud Beis. Ba'ana ben Achilud, Hanech u'Megiddo. His Ba'ana ben Achilud, he was in charge of Megiddo. These were also in the northern part of Menashe. At the time, when we learned in Yoshua, they were not able to conquer this. But now, either they were able to it or they became loyal to Shlomo HaMelech. The Chol Beit Sha'an, we know where Beit Sha'an is, Malea Gilboa, and that region, Asher Eitzel Sartana Mitachat LiYisrael, Mi Beit Sha'an Aravel Mecholad, Me'ever Liakman. So we're going north towards the Golan area. Yud Gimel Ben Gever Baramot Gilad. Gilad already is on the other side of the Jordan, on the east side of the Jordan, where Chavot Yair ben Menashe asher b'Gilad, Lo Chevel Argov asher b'Bashan, Shishim, this was the area of Og Melech HaBashan, Shishim Arim Dolot Chomav Riech Nechoshet, 60 large cities that had walls and cross beams. And the crossbeam was already made out of copper. These are all on the east side of the Jordan. Yudalid, Achinadav ben Ido Machanaima. And this is a border town called Machanaim, was on the Avra Yarden, it was on the east side of the Jordan. And if you remember, when Yaakov Avinu comes back from the house of Lavan, it says he stopped in Machanaim because there were two camps of angels that were accompanying him. Those that were with him, Chutz La'aretz, and those that were about to greet him in Eretz Yisrael. It's the border town, but still on the other side of Avra Yard. Tesvav Achimatz ben Naphtali. Achimatz was in the region of Naphtali, which is northeast of Eretz Yisrael. So Asher, the tribe of Asher, is all the way on the west, near the Mediterranean. And the Kinneret and the Yarden are east of where Naphtali is. So Naphtali is in the middle there, between where Asher was on the coast and between the Kinneret. Pasuk Tetzayin Bana ben Hushai be'Asher uva'alot. We said Asher is on the west near the coast, like where Akko would be. So he had a region all of Asher, and Alot is a region in Shevet Yehuda. I guess Radak says there was a strip that went all the way from Yehuda up to where Asher was. Yudzayin Yoshafat ben Paruach Bisachar. He had all of Yisachar's region. Shimi ben Ela beBinyamin. Pasuk Yutes Gever ben Uri be'Eretz Gilad. Eretz Sichon Melech HaMari. V'og Melech HaBashan. U'netziv echad asher bo'aretz. He was also on the other side of the Jordan, below where Menashe was. Now, who is this last one? Netziv Echad Asher Ba'aretz. So there's a Gemara in Sanhedrin Yud Beis. It says Rav Yehuda Rav Nachman Chad Amar Echad Memun al Kulam. That this last one was in charge of all of the rest. The Chad Amar Keneged Chodesh HaYibur. If you count the names, he was 13. So either he's like the super Netziv, or he had to provide the month when there was a leap month. Remember, in the Jewish calendar, 7 out of 19 years are years where we have to add other bays. So the Meforshim explain that he must have had a territory that was smaller because he didn't have to produce as much because he only had to produce 7 out of 13 years. 7 out of 19 years. Go ahead.
Doesn't this refer to the Azariah ben Nasan al Hanitzavim, who's in Pasuk Hey? If this is the same, Nitziv Echad Asher Ba'aretz, supervising all of it, maybe that's referring to the Azariah ben Nasan.
Right, because it didn't give a name. So that's why some Meforshim say, remember there was a debate there, which one he was. What his job was. So some say he was supervising over all, but some say it was just over the scribes. And perhaps that pshat is because his name is not given here.
Right.
Pasuk Chav. And this is a summary pasuk. Yehuda v'Yisrael Rabim. At this time, under Shlomo Melech's rule, Judea and Israel are a multitude. Kachol asher alayam laro. The population is massive. Ochlim v'shotim usmechim. They're eating, drinking, and they're happy.
Drink and be merry.
So one of the reasons, lo alehem pachad me'oyev. There was no threat from any enemy, not the Plishtim, nobody. And this pasuk says the Kilas Yaakov, the Navi is trying to explain how Shlomo's rule was different than David and Shaul's. Those kings, they didn't need these Nitzivim and all these taxes because during Shlomo there was plenty. It was a time of abundance. So the Shulchan HaMelech and its needs were great, much greater than they were in the times of David and Shaul. We are now seeing a kiyum of all the brachos that are mentioned in the beginning of Parshas Bechukosai or in the Parshas of Kitovo, where it says Im Bechukosai Telechu, or in before the Tochacha, it says if the people do well, they're going to get all these brachos. Says Rav Schwab, the brachos that we see that existed in the time of Shlomo Melech was Kiperchat Yimosa Mashiach. That this was the kavon of Shlomo. He thought that this was the time of Yimosa Mashiach, because he's going to build the Beis Hamikdash. He's going to build it to be Magadol Kvod Shamayim in the world. That's why Shlomo married Bas Paro, because he thought it's Mashiach Zeiten, and all the Umos Ha'olam are going to come and bow down to the Beis Hamikdash. On the other hand, we've learned that even though he may not have done an Isser by marrying Bas Paro, he didn't, and he did it L'Shem Shamayim, but he didn't do it the right way. And we said it led to the Churban itself. We said, so it wasn't just Gashmias. Now you notice it was Gashmias. It says only Ochlim Usmechim. It doesn't say that they did mitzvahs or learned Torah. But it did say that with Malchus David. It mentioned that the people followed the Torah and were going in Hashem's ways. So it could be that the Navi didn't mention it in comparison to the Gashmias, how much it was. And maybe it wasn't any different than it was in the time of David HaMelech. Of course, Shlomo Melech was darshaning and teaching Torah and all of that.
A possible explanation is during the time of David, they were involved in continuous battle, so that they had to pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu to save Bnei Yisrael, to show David the derech that he should be successful. In times of peace, you eat, drink, and be merry. That's what it's saying in the pasuk. You're relaxed. You're not. Perhaps you're distracted from, having to daven to God to be mispalel that everything should be safe, because it was at times of prosperity.
When there's peace, you don't have to. I think you're even amenable to taxes, etc. People are flourishing in this time, and certainly not having to worry about war. Nations were fearful and did not attack. It was definitely a time of prosperity, and not having to go to battle was certainly that's significant.
Why are the Jewish people compared to Chol Hayam, to the sands of the sea? So the Midbar Rabbah brings Rav Nechemia b'Shem Rav Bibi, Nimshu Yisrael Kachol. The Jewish people are compared to sand. Ma'achol azata osebo guma ba'erev. Like as a child, when you walked in the wet sand in the evening, and you could see your footstep. But by the morning, it all is filled up with new sand. Kach, kol ha'alafim shechasru Yisrael b'mei David, emasai nismalu b'mei Shlomo. Shenemar v'Yisrael rabim kachol asher layam larov. That the analogy here is that they had lost a lot of soldiers in the time of David. When did they get replaced? They got replaced now, when there was plenty, and there was no enemies and no war. The population surged, and whatever was lacking in the population at that time got filled up now. Let's just start Perek Hey. Pasuk Aleph,
Ernie,
Ushlomo.
can I just add a
Oh,
nice
please, please.
Sorry, are you in a rush to finish? Sorry.
No, not at all.
Oh, just an interesting kliyakar that Mayam Lois brings on the concept of sand. He says sand has another interesting quality. When you throw it into the fire, it turns into glass. So the Jewish people can go through the fires of hell and emerge alive and whole, as Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah emerged from the fiery furnace of Nebuchadnezzar. So then he goes on to say, as glass is purer and more valuable than sand, from which it was derived, so too is the Jewish people purified and improved.
That's nice. That's a good shot. Okay, so
Okay.
let's, I have to teach the Daf Yomi now, so let's,
This is short, so you did this with short, okay.
huh?
Okay.
I still think it's too, it's very late when we come home from shul on Shabbos. Because for example, I came home from shul at 9:00. If we want to consider learning at 9:30, but that would make it to 10:30. It might be too late for people.
I was going to suggest maybe making the Daf Yomi earlier in the day on Sunday sometime.
That's,
You mean for Sunday night?
For Sunday night, let's say make it at 7 o'clock or 6:30, something like that.
you go to shul.
Yeah, it
this
goes
is
to shul
right.
at 7,
And that way,
only
and that way,
7:50 right now.
and that way we can learn till 9:15.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
And then
Okay,
it's not all bunched together. I'm sorry, but I personally have a hard concentrating with 2 hours in a row. So
No, I agree. I agree. We should do the daf earlier, like it may be 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or something like that. We'll talk
Yeah.
about it during the week.
like
and-
before dinner or right
Ernie,
after
do
dinner.
people
whatever.
feel that Motzei Shabbos is too late to do Navi?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I think so,
At
too.
least we don't have any other commitments because it is later, but how do people feel about learning at, was
know
it
it's-
9:30?
I know Tzvi Lot would definitely like to move it back to Motzei Shabbos
Motzei Shabbos,
because he has another shiur Sunday night. He told me.
right.
So let's
Maybe we
think.
It's too late.
It's too late, Motzei Shabbos?
Yeah, some
Mhm.
people have expressed that it's too
Some
late.
people
Yeah,
feel that
you
it's
want
too
to
late.
don't finish till 10 p.m.
Okay, so let's next week again. We'll do it. Hopefully, I'll get home by 8:20. Maybe I'll, and
Should
then
we
we'll
leave it
talk-
for 8:30, perhaps 8:30?
Yeah, let's do it 8:30, and then we'll go to either 9:15 or 9:30 because we'll do the daf way before.
We'll do the stuff earlier, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't do it during
8:30. No, we'll do the Navi shiur at 8:30.
And you should do the daf like at 7, maybe.
Yeah, we can do it at 7. We can do it in the morning, possibly. I don't know. We have to decide which one, what, if
Okay.
everybody's busy or not. Okay.
I wish everybody a good
A
week.
good week.
We'll
Shavuot
start
tov.
Parak A next week, and
Shavuot tov.
Shavuot Tov. I'm going to sign off and sign back in so we can get the recordings. proper.
Shavuot tov.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank
Thank
you.
Thank you so much. Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you. Thank you. Menachem.
Are we done?
You can go.
And you just do it.
Were you test? Your test now?
What?
We're on your test?
We did 2 dafs on Shabbos.
Oh.
Hold on.
Did we?
Maybe it's 2. I don't know. Let me put. I didn't open the Gemara yet. We are at the bottom of Yud Ches
Okay.
of my base. So that's where he landed, and then we're going to Yud Tes.
Good.
I just can't, I have a hard time concentrating for over 2 hours.
I agree. It's hard. It's at the end of the day, too.
It's also, I'm so tired. I almost fell asleep before already. No, seriously. The Moitze Shabbos, I think it's too late. No, I mean, Shabbos is already what?
Yeah.
9 o'clock. When is Shabbos over?
Almost 9.
Almost 9. Yeah. I remember we used to do the daf in the morning. That was great, like at 8 a.m. or something like that.
We could do it. Yeah, we could do it on Sundays at 9.
I would do that, but then he plays golf, no?
So let him sacrifice golf.
Yeah, sure. No, he can do it at 8 o'clock. I don't know when he plays golf.
Where'd he go? He was just there.
Yeah, I don't know where he went.
Hey, Johnny.
Yeah.
Here I thought I was late.
No, you're not. If
Guess
Ernie
not.
would be on time, and you wouldn't be late. You would be late. We just hung up 5 minutes ago. Oh, here we go.
What?
No, never mind.
I'm sure I'll find it there. Here it is.
There he is.
We are on Yud Test 19. Actually, it's on the bottom of you.
No, Test Zion Amud Beis, bottom of block.
No,
Yud Ches at the bottom.
Oh, sorry.
18, the last 2 lines on the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yomid Beis. Ahuda Amar Lula Sara Kisvu Get Lishti. Person told a group of 10 men to write a get. Hasum Beit Treminayu Biyoimei. 2 of them signed it that day. The Inich, the other 8, Mikan Varasar Yomim, signed it with dates up until 10 days from there. Asla Kamin Rav Yeshua ben Levi. The case came in front of Rav Yeshua ben Levi. Amar Lei, Kedai Rav Shimon Lismach La B'Shas Avcha. Remember, Rav Shimon was machshir a get that was written in the daytime and signed at night. So this get was already written and given. We shouldn't be mevatel it. So the Gemara says, "Va'amar Reish Lakish lo yichshur Rav Shimon el alter." You got to do it right away. Sign it, right? It's written in the day and signed that night. Aval mikan v'asar yamim lo. He didn't allow that. So Bahu, Rav Yochanan Svirale, he held like Rav Yochanan, who allowed up till 10 days. He only allowed that if the other 8 were going to be conditional, but not aiding. So on that issue, he held like Loshi, like Reish Lakish, that they were all because of Adis. And that way the case made he didn't want to do it except B'Shas Adchak. Mishnah. Bakol Koisvin. You can write again with any dye. Bidyo, Bisam, Bisikra. These are inks that last a long time. V'kumus v'kankantum v'chol davar shel kayam. Any ink that lasts. Ein koitzvin lo b'mashkin. You can't use, fruit drinks. V'lo b'mei anything that doesn't last. Now that's the ink. What about what you write on? Ala kol koifin, al ha'ala shel zayis, even on a leaf, an olive leaf. Vala keren shel para, you can write it on the horn of a cow, as long as the nosin los para, as long as you give her the whole cow. Al yad shel eved, v'nosin los eved. You have an eved kanani, you write the get on his hand, give the eved to the woman.
So you're allowed to tattoo on an Evid?
Eved kanani, you technically wouldn't be able to, because remember, we know an eved kanani has the same lavim as a woman.
So how are you writing on an Evid?
Good kasha.
I would say it's not tattoo. It's just it'll eventually wear out. You can
But if
write.
it wears
with-
out, it's no
Then-
good. These
then
are
it
all
can't-
permanent ink.
It's
That's-
gotta be shal kayama.
Yeah, but how long is Shikayama? I mean, it's like it's a permanent ink, but eventually it wears out after who knows. But it's as opposed to a tattoo.
By the
tattoo
way,
is-
Kenny, I would hold the thought until we get to the Gemara. The Gemara will deal with it.
Okay, sorry.
That's good kasha. A good kasha. How do you do it?
But in essence, any ink, over a long period of time, it gets erased slowly but slowly,
It fades, yeah.
It disappears. Look at any document that's 100, 200, 300 years old, it gets weaker. A lot of them, not necessarily all of them, but a lot of them do.
A Sefer Torah also, a good Sefer Torah, eventually it wears out unless it's really done on scroll that's treated.
Kenny, it doesn't say that they tattooed it in the yacht. They wrote it.
Yeah.
It doesn't say that they did ksoves ka'aka, which is a tattoo, which would not be allowed. So they wrote it, and maybe that's not a problem to write it. Okay? Rabbi Yosef Glili, Oimer ein koisvin, lo davar sheyesh bo ruach chayim.
Yeah, so how can you do that? That's a conflict.
Rabbi Yosef Glili doesn't allow to do it not on a cow and not on a person, and also not on food.
Sam, I am.
I was just thinking that exact thought.
Sam, I am.
Not on a boat, not with a goat, not on a goat.
So the Gemara says dio is diota. That's standard ink. Okay. Sam is sama. Kumus. Oh, Rashi Sama says orpiment.
It says here it's yellow arsenic.
Okay. Sikra. Rabbi is sikrisa shma. It's sikrisa. The Meforshim say it's a red dye. Kumus is kuma. Srafa ilan, sap from a tree.
Gum Arabic.
Acacia arabica or Acacia senegalis.
Gum Arabic.
Okay. Cancantum. Cancantum is copper sulfate. Made out of copper sulfate. Amar Rabbi Rochana Mishmol Charta de Ushpechi. Other mint.
Shoemakers blackening.
Right? Things that the shoemakers used. Then the Mishnah says, Chodover Shumiskayim. Well, what is that? Lasui Mai. What does that come to include? Lasui Aditani, Rachanina Kosvu B'meitarya V'aptza. They soaked. They soaked.
Flax.
You could write this on a paper or leather. This meitarya, and then it was tanned. It was like, there was a process made, and that was kosher. Aver is like lead. B'shachor is coal. B'shichur, which is this copper sulfate, that's also kosher. Itma. Hamavri dio gabi sikra b'Shabbos. You're not allowed to write on Shabbos. So somebody takes ink, and there's a document that has writing in sikra, and you trace over the sikra with dio, and you do it on Shabbos. Rav Yechvesh Lakish Amar Tarvayu Chayiv. Shtayim. Achas b'shum kosev. The dio is more permanent than the sikra. So you wrote over it. So you wrote, and v'achas b'shum mokik, and you also erased the sikra. Now, what about dio al gabi dio? You have a document with dio and you write dio on it. O sikra al gabi sikra, potter. You didn't change anything, so you didn't write anything, you didn't erase anything. Now, sikra al gabi dio, right? You have dio on the document, and you use sikra, which is an inferior thing. So amri la chayiv, but amri la potter. Some say you're chayiv. We're talking about Shabbos. Some say you're potter. Amri la chayiv moichik. Well, you erased the ksav below, which was a higher madrega. But amri la potter, because makalkelu, any avodah that you do that damages your potter, makalkel potter b'melecha Shabbos. So Bobi Reish Lakish Rav Yechna. Eidim shen yodim lachtom. You have eidim that don't know how to write. Mao shichtu lem besikra v'yachtemu. Maybe you should write their names besikra. Let them write b'dio on top of it. Right? Like, because the dio is more permanent and a better ink than sikra. Ksav elyon ksav, is it considered a good ksav or eno ksav? Right, this new ksav that you're writing on top of the other one, is that a good ksav or not? Amar le eno ksav. Amar le, what do you mean by Shabbos? Ksav elyon ksav le'inyan Shabbos. How come by Shabbos it was a ksav and here it's not? Amar le, the chibitnei shana medavim nasa ma'isa. We can't rely just because by Hilchos Shabbos, by Hilchos Gittin, you can't be medame one to the other. Itma. Eidim shen yodim lachtoy. You have eidim who don't know how to sign their names. Rava merkarlem niyar chalak u'mamalim esakroim dio. You have a cutout. You have paper that you cut out their names. You put that down on the paper. Then they use ink, fill it in. You have their name. Ushmol Omar be'aver, lead. First, you write a little bit lead, and they write over it. Be'aver is like a daitach, but then Rav Chia k'sov be'aver b'shchor kosher. Aver is perfectly good to use. So what do you do? Lo kasha haba avra haba maya de avra. We're talking about water that had lead soaked in it. That's nothing. And that you could use to, show them what the letters look like, and they can write over that. Ravavo Amar b'mei milin. Gallnuts water. Wait, more about Tani Rab Chanina Katzal b'nei Tari b'Atzar kosher. You told me before that that's okay for writing a get. Like kasha, the office had law. It depends if you tan the document after the cloth. Would you tan it or not? If you tanned it, it remained permanent. If not, it's not permanent. She'ein mei milan agabi mei milan. The mei mil, if you write on top of another mei mil, it's not going to last. Rav Papa Omar Baroque. Rav Papa says if you have Eidim who don't know how to write their name, you write it in saliva, and then they write it. You fill it in ink. Rav Papa La Papa Taro Baroque. They use saliva. Hanimili Gittin. This is only okay by get, avol b'shtaros lo. But by regular financial documents, we don't allow this. We need Eidim who know how to write their name. By get, we're worried we're never going to find any other Eidim. She's going to be an aguna. We're makel, but not by regular stars. A person did this with regular stars, with spit, and he gave him malchus. You tear them a stencil. It's only permitted by a divorce. If they know how to sign their name good, they can't be Eidim. So first of all, who brought up this thing about knowing how to read? Rav Shimon Gamliel, who brought up reading? So there are words missing. Eidim she'erin likros. If you have Eidim that don't know how to read a document, you read it to them. They know how to write, they just don't know how to read. Now, v'she'en yorim lachtoim, on Rosh Hashanah b'medvar amon b'gitei noshim. Aval shechvarim v'shakol ha'shorsim yorim likros v'lachtoim choismin. V'blav ein choismin. Amnon is my time at Rosh Hashanah. Shelo yu b'nos Yisrael agunos. We don't want to leave b'nos Yisrael agunos. These may be the only Eidim we have. We don't want to lose them. Amarav alochik Rosh Hashanah. So Morris says, how can you say Allah is like Rav Shimon? V'arav gamda mishpei Rava amein Allah. Ela kaman karabanon against Rav Shimon. V'ahu doavad uvdi b'shar stars v'nagdi Rav Kana. We see that the Chachamim don't allow it either. So tirgama akriya. It means regarding knowing how to read, Allah is not like Rosh Hashanah Gamliel, rather like the Chachamim. You're allowed to read it to them, but not regarding the writing. Rav Yehuda Mitztayer, when he was old, he would spend a lot of time Kori v'Chotim. He wanted to show that he could read and then sign. You don't have to push yourself so hard to read. The Arab Lezer Mara, Eretz Yisrael Koro Kameh, they read in front of him, then he signed. You could do the same thing. Rav Nachman Koro Kameh Sifrei Dayane v'Chasum. The Soifrim would read a document in front of, he wouldn't read it himself and sign it. But that's Dafka Rav Nachman Sifrei Dayane, the Islu Amos. So there was great fear from Rav Nachman. So we don't have a worry that maybe they didn't read correctly. Aval Rav Nachman Safrei Achrini, but if it was other Soifrim who were not under his thumb so much, or Safrei Dayani V'Inshei Achrini, or the Soifrim with another low, we would not rely on just reading and signing. Rav Papa also kamei shtar parsa. They would bring a Persian document to Rav Papa, the Ovid Bar Koshel Goyim, that was made in a Persian court. He didn't know how to read Persian. Makrulahu, Lishneko, they would call two Goyim and have them read. Zer Shalom Ifnei. Each one read it independently. And so that they would be Mesiach Lafi Tumo. We want them reading it like not as if they're not testifying. Because we're concerned if they know they're testifying, they're going to lie. Once he understood what's in the shtar, he would even collect money from lands that had been, that had been bought already, sold, and there was a previous lien, which is a very powerful shtar. Amar Avashi, Amar Lavuni Bar Nasan, Hachi Amar Amema, High Shtar Parsa, this Persian shtar, the Chasim Elei Sadi Israel, we see there's Jewish witnesses. Magvina Be'mim Shabodi. You can use it to collect even from the Chasim Shabodi that were sold. How can we rely on it? Valoyad Mikri. The Adim don't know how to read Persian. So Biyadi, these Adim knew. I've been in Ksav Sheni Yachal is Dayev. They have to write it on a type of a document that can't be forged Veleka, because the Persians didn't write their documents on special klav. So, but that feedson, they did treat it with gallnuts, so it was impossible to forge. Ava be'inan lachzar minyono shel shtar b'shit achrona veleka. In Jewish staros, you have to, in the last line, repeat the main issues of the shtar in one line, and the Persian staros didn't have that. This Persian star did it. So what's the chiddush? This star was written Kedino. Why do you have to tell me? Why do you have to tell me that's a problem? The chalosh and kosher, that it's a star written in Persian. You can tell me it's a good document, even though it's in Persian. We know that Tanina Getcha Kosfu Ivris. It was written in Hebrew, Ve'edav B'Yevonis, but the Edim side in Greek, or Yevonis Ve'edav Ivris, or the text was written in Greek, and the Edim side in Hebrew, kosher. The says, if we would only have that information, Hava Mina Hanimili Begittin, because there's a lot of kulas by Gittin, so that women shouldn't be in Aguna. Avli B'Shtar Shtar slow. Kamash Malan. Yeah, I'm going to stop here, and we'll pick up tomorrow.
Shkoyach, Ernie.
Left top.
Good night. Have a good week.
Good night, everybody.
in it.
After all this time, it's gonna be epic.
No, I'm serious, Sam. I won't go.
You don't have a choice. Jake's already booked the flights.
I'm not flying anywhere.
Mexico, cage diving, sharks,
You're not.
pretty sharks.
You're not funny.
You're gonna love it.
Hey, that was quite a day. Yeah, I hate to say it, but that was fun. Okay, so yeah, I've been thinking about your activities list with Rosa. You mean my boring plans? No, okay, hear me out. What if you turned all this cultural, educational stuff into like a scavenger hunt around LA? You know, that way she can get to know the lay of the land. I can help come up with like clues and puzzles to lead her to the next place. Haven't you had enough of that today? No, never. Okay. I want to do more. You know, puzzles, brain teasers, keep mine sharp. Will a scavenger hunt give me the role of fun parent? Oh, absolutely. Then I'm in. Unless Geek Sticks are like skydiving or something. No, he's totally right. Yeah, in that case, he's got the role of fun parent. Sorry.
Hey guys,
Hey.
you think Admiral Gordon's gonna find the treasure?
Man, that I do not know. What I do know is that, man, that guy loves the hunt.
Totally. But isn't that what it's about? Not the treasure, but the journey to it.
How's your dad?
He's fine.
Any idea what you're gonna do?
Find a reliable companion, someone he gets along with. And a nice nurse, Constance. I think I'll give her a call.
So no robot.
When robots have emotions, I'll consider that option.
Coming.
You know it's coming.
You don't think we should have convinced Admiral Gordon to get on that chopper with us, do you?
He's good. He really thinks he'll find that treasure.
He almost lost his life over it.
For centuries, men have been willing to risk life and limb in search of sunken riches, buried treasure.
It's just stories, Adam. False.
Well, however fantastical it may seem, treasure hunting spurred the birth of modern capitalism.
I don't play lotto. I don't gamble. And I damn sure don't search for treasure. You know what treasure is to me?
50-pound kettlebells and baby oil?
Family and friends. Good day's work.
Drink to that.
Oh, by the way, Admiral Gordon dropped this by for the two of you. Evening, gentlemen.
Evening.
Good evening.
What is it?
Give me it. Give me your hand.
What is it? You gotta be kidding me.
Ahoy, mateys. Adventure is everywhere. Okay. Okay.
We know patients are more than their disease. That's why at Novo Nordisk, we've spent 100 years developing treatments to help unlock humanity's full potential. These are the greats, people living with, thriving with, not held back by disease. They motivate us to fight diabetes and obesity, rare diseases, and cardiovascular conditions for generations to come. So everyone can meet their moment, because your disease doesn't define you. So what will? Novo Nordisk, driving change. Kia, movement that inspires.
And we're down.
Aqua Gel.
next destination. I brought in Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein. Those who tried me felt more energy in just 2 weeks. Here, I'll take that.
Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar. Enter the Nourishing Moments giveaway for a chance to win $10,000.
Want a smarter way to mop? Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop. An all-in-one cleaning tool with hundreds of scrubbing strips that absorb and lock dirt away for a mop and bucket clean in half the time. Mop smarter with the new Swiffer Power Mop.
You need to go now. NCIS and NCIS Hawaii, Mondays on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus. The Tony Awards, Sunday, June 11th on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
The new trees.
It's on CBS.
I said stop! When I blow that whistle, stop! Hands up! Hands!
United States, Dad's out here killing it.
Good morning. Who wants breakfast?
It's not breakfast, it's a murder weapon.
Please, he's a vegan. No animals were harmed in the making of these
I'm not
donuts.
talking about the animals, besides I already made breakfast.
Oh, that's so cute, but definitely not vegan.
Well, Rosa's not vegan and neither am I.
Yeah, well, you take a couple of bites of one of these babies and you might be.
No, Mom, don't put the donut on its mom. We've talked about this. I'm really excited that you moved so close.
Yeah, I timed myself. 84 seconds door to door. I brought my laundry.
84 seconds. Wow, that is terrifyingly close. But listen, Mom, we agreed on this that we would talk before you just dropped by.
I did. I texted Kenzie.
Well, Kenzie's not here.
Well, you'd never know it with all the mess.
Stop touching that. She is in Quantico for a week for a refresher course.
Well, then it's a good thing I'm here. Your hands must be full. I'll go help Rosa get dressed.
She's 16. Besides, I got everything taken care of. All right, I made a beautiful breakfast. I got an incredible bento box ready to go. Look how pretty that is. And in 12 minutes, we're walking out the door to go to school. And she would just wake up and come eat breakfast.
I brought donuts.
No, Mom.
What do you got against donuts? Aren't you a con?
How dare. Sleepyhead. You okay?
No me siento bien.
Really? Rosa?
Well, I don't speak Spanish, but I'm pretty sure I know what that means.
Good run? Yeah, it was good. Santa Ana was strong today. What are you doing?
I'm looking at some satellite footage of a town in Syria where Hetty was last seen. Maybe I can find some trace of her.
We need a powerful satellite to pick up someone her size.
It's incredible. I mean, Hetty's gone off the grid before, but this is next level.
We'll find it, Chief. We always do. Gee, why is there a snake on the coffee table?
Oh yeah, that's my nephew Jake's. He and Alex went out of town this morning, so I'm pet sitting.
So you had to bring it to the boat shed?
Well, I picked it up on the way to work. I'll bring it home tonight. Everything okay? Oh, I forgot. You're afraid of snakes.
I'm not afraid of snakes. I don't like snakes.
What does that mean?
What?
What do you mean? Why don't you like them?
Do I have to like them?
Well, I don't know. No, I guess I just. It seems a little unfair.
It's not unfair. It's survival instinct. A fear of snakes is healthy. It's been passed down to humans for thousands of years.
Okay, so you are afraid of snakes.
I'm gonna take a shower. That's not from the snakes at all.
Make it quick. We just got a case. Damn it. Okay, I talked to the school. They think that you might have caught the flu that's going around here. Let's let your head up a little bit. How's that? Is that better? Okay, can I get you anything? You want some toast or some coconut water or ginger ale? I know the perfect thing. When I get sick, I eat crunchy peanut butter right out of the jar. Works every time.
Caldo de res.
Sorry, what?
It's a soup. My mom would make it for me whenever I was sick. And she would put her hands in my hair. Like this. Until I fell asleep. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that she's not here. I'm sorry that I didn't have a chance to meet her.
She would have liked you.
Yeah?
Yeah. Except your hair.
No.
She would have combed it all neat. She was look terrible.
Well, yeah, this is styled by pillow. Sorry.
Work.
Yeah. I gotta take it, sorry. Roundtree, hey, I'm coming. Rosa is sick, and so we're just waiting on my mom to.
I'm back.
There she
with
is.
the movies.
I'm on my way. Just hold down the phone.